What is the story, everybody? Today we have Cal and myself bringing you another deck profile on the way to 1k subs. But before we get into it, again, please like, comment and subscribe. And please check out the links in our description where you will find a code for Kong's cards to save yourself 5% off on all your purchases. Crossover Breakers is just around the corner. What decks are coming out in the Cal?
We have the new YuGiOh cards, which are probably considered to be the next meta decks, along with Malice as well, which is going to be a big fan favourite deck. Hold on to your copies on Lancia it.
Yeah, anyone who's been testing online recently has undoubtedly come up against two of them decks, and unless your deck plays a certain out there, you can have a bad time.
Shifter everywhere. Yeah. This next format. Shifter is going to be everywhere.
Lovely. Yeah, it might finally get limited or semi, but yeah. Like there was a recent OTS, you might have seen the profile from Rassi on his old faithful tier. Cal was there also chewing up some people. Cal, what were you playing if it wasn't obvious enough?
I am playing the magical Musket deck that I was using for the last OTS championship I went to.
Nice.
But it's got the Fiendsmith stuff and there's a couple of extra little nitpicky bits in the middle as well.
Yeah.
So I'll start by going with my reasoning for playing the deck. It's basic as anything. If you lose dice roll, most likely you're going to go second. So my thought was, why not play a blind second deck?
Nice.
And to do that, Muskets are probably the best choice to do it.
Yeah.
Starting off with the main deck, it's 3 Magical Musketeer Starfire. If people haven't seen the last profile, basically they all share the effect that if there's a card activated in its column, then they get a certain effect. So basically Starfire is you can special summon another magical musket name from the deck, and then also while any of the musketeers are on field, you can activate the magical musket spells and traps from your hand during either player's turn. They're like hand traps. This is very much considered the best one. You always play 3 of it, because this gets you to the rest of your engine. And
before we go on to the next one, the column effect, just people forget about it.
Oh, it's incredible. Like my first round, I played against someone who was on Cyberdarks. Quite an easy matchup going into the first round, but I had all this stuff set up and he just kept activating stuff in their columns and kept forgetting about their effects. So I just kept spamming the board, just made it much easier. The next one we go into is Casper's.
Nice.
We play 3 Magical Musketeer Casper, and very much the same. You can activate your Magical Muskets from the hand, and then if a spell or trap is activated in his column, he's basically a rota. He searches for any of the other names.
Nice, always nice.
Granted, he can search for the monsters or the spells and traps, which is very, very handy to have. Most people play Doc. He's the exact same. Activate from the hand, and then if a card is activated in his column, I can add one of the magical musket cards from the graveyard to the hand. That includes the spells, traps, and even the monsters. And one of the rogue choices I decided to pick was going into Magical Musketeer Wild.
Oh, okay. That's
wild. So my reason for playing him was, anyone who didn't notice beforehand, I didn't get to upload a profile before the deck kind of died. I was a very big Infernoble player. And one of the best cards, I always argued this, was Maugis in the deck. And Magical Musketeer Wild is basically the same as Maugis. So if a spell track card is activated in this one's column, you can target up to 3 of your Magical Musket cards that are in the graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw one, which is incredible. The wording that says up to is like crucial here, because if, say, you target your 3 and someone crows it, it doesn't completely nullify it. You can just shuffle the other 2 back and still draw 1, which is very handy. And being able to have that 4th name in case you open up the dock, or in case you open up like multiple copies of different ones, having another name to go into off of the Magical Musketeer Max is crazy good.
Cool.
And then I play one of each of the spells and traps. I play the 1 Cross Domination. This one is if I control a magical musket, I can target a face-up monster on my opponent's field. And then until the end of the turn, its effects are negated and it becomes 0/0, which came up a lot.
Yeah, no, I'd say so.
I nailed someone's access code with this in the damage step. I let them pop a few of my cards. I just went into the battle phase, went to swing over my weakest monster, and just dropped this. And
was he like a 5/3 access code?
It was a 5/3
nice.
access
You
code.
love to see it.
And I smoked it. It was so funny. He got smacked up by, I think it was Casper, and he got smoked by a 1200 monster. It was so funny. We play one Magical Musket Desperado.
Cool.
This one is you can take a face-up card in the field and then destroy it. It just pops it.
Nice.
This one came up a lot for multiple different things. Like in that matchup against Cyberdarks, I popped the Clockwork Knight, so they can't contact fuse all my stuff away.
Fair.
Came up against White Forest, I kept popping their tuners and stuff.
Nice.
Like it was actually really good. We have the Dancing Needle. This one is very key against decks like Snake Eyes that are running around right now.
Cool.
So this one is you take up to 3 cards in either player's graveyard and banish them.
Nice.
So your best bet for this is dropping this and then target like the Promethean Princess, their Oak and their Asher or their Flambers or whatever, and you just can't recycle all their board again. So then they kind of have to use their resources there and then.
Nice.
And then you have the one last stand, and this is basically a Solemn Judgment. If a spell trap card is activated while I control a Magical Musket monster, I can negate the activation and destroy it.
Sweet.
It's a counter trap as well. So.
It's a counter trap, so only very nichely can be responded to.
And then,
I'd say it goes without saying that when you make people go second playing a blind second list, a big benefit for you is thinking that they probably think that you're going to be on 10 by.
Oh, the amount of times I've said I'm gonna go second. I see them build a board. With like ready for tempo. They go into the meteor burst dragon.
Because you have to be fair. Like it's the assumption.
And then I just drop one of the musket names, and then they know they're done. They're finished.
Nice.
And then to go along with the engine, I also played 3 copies of Link into the Vrains.
Such a cool card. That's nice. It's finally getting played.
Yeah, when I first read this card, I actually couldn't believe what I was reading.
Yeah.
But for anyone who doesn't know what this card does, especially someone's a monster from the hand, it negates effects, but then immediately you link someone using that monster.
Yeah.
Very
handy for decks that add a lot of monsters to hand.
Yeah, and it's very handy for monsters to have, for decks that like go into link ones very easily. This deck does a lot. And also what this does, that a lot of people don't actually understand if they let it go through, that summon window that you summon the link monster with cannot be monsters can't be affected within that summon window. I don't think it's like
it misses timing.
It completely they can't respond to it.
We had it explained to us before by our resident judge.
Shout out Billy Siggins for this as well. That he actually explained to me before the OTS Championship. He was the judge for the OTS Championship. We usually go to him beforehand for any questions on rules or anything.
Or Jack.
Jack. I haven't seen him at too many events lately. I think he's been going to more of the international events.
He's been playing Blackwing and Edison. But we won't talk about that.
But he explained to me that if I link into the Vrains, summon a card, and then link it straight off into a Fiendsmith Requiem, I can trigger the Fiendsmith Requiem's quick effect in that summon window and they can't respond to it.
Nice.
Which I didn't know. That's actually crazy.
How many did that come up?
It did. It come to the day.
I'd say you forced that interaction.
Oh, it was so funny. They couldn't believe it. But yeah, that's it for really the Magical Musketeer engine. Now we get into the Fiendsmiths, and we have 3 Fiendsmith Engraver. I upped this from 2 to 3. I just better consistency, just handier to have. So opening multiple doesn't kind of kill it. You just always have the 3.
Yeah. And obviously, the Musketeers are life linked.
The Musketeers are also life linked.
Yeah. So if that wasn't obvious enough,
gives you access to it. Anyway. And then we play the one of the new card, Lacrima.
Yes, this is a really cool card.
So I assume everyone knows what Fiendsmith Engraver does already.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough of it, unfortunately.
But the Lacrima, if it's normal or special summoned, it's always treated as a Fiendsmith card.
Yeah.
And if it's normal or special summoned, I can send a Fiendsmith card from the deck to the graveyard. And I think it's another one, like during my opponent's turn, it can banish itself to revive a link monster. But that never really comes up. What you're usually doing is summoning this off of the Requiem to send one of the engravers from the deck to the graveyard, and then you've just got access to all your engine anyway. And then we have the 2 Fiendsmith Tract.
Yeah.
Adding a Life Fiend, and then the Scarred one is pretty good considering my whole main engine is Life Fiend.
Yeah, your whole main engine is Life Fiend, so I think you were playing 3 at one stage, which was completely understandable. Yeah,
I was playing 3 at one stage. I ended up cutting it down to 2 because I added the 3rd engraver. It just worked out better.
Makes sense.
so I don't brick on multiple of these.
Yeah.
And I see more Fiendsmiths if I have to.
You'd rather open 2 Engraver than 2 of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Fusion Summon effect comes up great as well. Fiendsmith Sanct, that was when I was originally testing at 3, but I just don't think it comes up enough.
Yeah.
Because originally the deck did brick a lot, but now with certain hand traps that have been released since then,
sure, buddy.
We don't really brick very often.
Sure, guy.
So that's it for the Fiendsmith stuff. Pretty handy, pretty standard for the Fiendsmiths. Going into the Unchained, we have Shavara and Abominable Chamber. I did consider playing the other trap. I didn't really think it was necessary though. Like the Shavara, if you don't know already, it can pop a face down or a fiend you control, special summon itself.
Yeah.
And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can set an Unchained spell or trap from the deck. So you set the Abominable Chamber, and then if you don't end up OTKing, you usually revive the Unchained Soul of Rage.
These 2 cards do like force a load of interaction that can be quite annoying.
So most Fiend decks play them. If you're not going to play them, I don't think you're playing it
Here's the
correctly.
best Fiend though.
You play Fabled Lurie,
Yeah.
and then a really underrated card, and shout out to Dinka for his YCS list for discovering Diabolica. So Diabolica, if this stays in the deck, if you don't see this in the hand, in combo you can guarantee that you get an extra draw off the Necro Quip Princess in combo, simply because when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add back the Fiendsmith Engraver from the grave to your hand, and then just immediately trigger it off again.
Nice.
And then another thing it does as well is you can actually, if you have fiends on the field already, and you only control fiends, you can actually special summon this
From hand or
from
GUI?
hand.
Oh, from hand, nice.
Which is very, very good. But I think you can only use one of the effects per turn, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's why you only play the one.
So you're either getting an extra draw, or an extra body.
Yeah, a free body or a draw,
which is great. Like.
Very handy. But yeah, just 2 generic combo extenders. I don't actually have to go into this very often, because I usually just search one of my main deck pieces. But there's been times where I've opened up everything I needed, and I was like, you know what, just the extra body.
Like you get a naturally true combo. Is there any of the Musketeers level 2 lights?
No,
that would have been nice.
Not, no, very nice. I've looked to see if there's any good targets, so I could try and make the angel, but
fair.
It's very situational with some of the targets. We play 2 copies of Foolish Goods and the 1 Black Goat last. Jonathan lent me. Thank you very much.
Makes sense. Shout out to Cons cards. That's where I got that.
This card is crazy good. I don't know how I didn't know of this before researching this deck, but Black Goat Last is actually a really good card. I just think it's absolutely worth running 2 Foolish Goods for the Black Goat.
Any deck that can send the trap naturally off combo is like this card. Like you have to play around it. Like
being able to either prevent your opponent from summoning a card with a certain name
or
if you see it,
yeah.
or stop them from activating the effect if it's in the graveyard. It's so good.
And like if you open this and already open this in hand, you can just send when your other Fiendsmith card. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like if you can just deck thin, you can do whatever. So yeah, would never cut this package. This package is really good already. Cool. We pay the 1 Pot Prosperity just for consistency.
Rip.
Yeah, rip. It was a necessary evil that had to go, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played a 1 anyway because we never ever banished 6.
Right.
Because you need your extra way too much for that. We only ever banished 3.
Fair. But if
and I know exactly which 3 as well.
That's nice. It's always nice when you know your targets.
Yeah. And now we get into the good cards.
Cool.
We got the 3 of the Mulchami Foalos. Yeah. This card is criminal. Yeah. I came up against one of the White Forest guys at the card shop. Shout out UnderWorld Gaming.
Shout out David, is it?
Yeah, David. Dropped 2 of these on him, both games, and I felt awful.
Yeah, you should.
I felt awful. Terrible. Yeah. I ended up with like 14 cards in the hand or something, and because he had like 8 cards on field, I got to keep them all. Right. So I just kept dropping board breakers till he stopped playing.
Just go on to the next card.
3 Mulchami for Rulia.
Okay. The other one.
If you're not if you're not playing the boat, then you're not playing it right.
And before we know it, we'll have a banished and GY one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm sure Cal will play 9 of them.
Thank you, Konami. I'll be absolutely playing that one as well. This one is not as good as Fuelos, obviously, but came up a lot, considering that I was playing against Cyberdarks for one of the rounds.
Yeah.
So most of their cards are summoned from the deck.
Yeah.
And then for the board breakers, we play 3 Ultimate Slayer.
Yo.
Got plenty of targets for that. We play 3 Dark Room and more.
Good card, it's coming back.
Great card.
Yeah.
It's people's confusion when I go second and drop this.
Yeah.
Because they're prepared for tempo.
You'd be surprised how giddy people get when they're like, oh, but you can't do any damage. Yeah, but like you'll have nothing left. Not a full board.
And then the 3 copies of Forbidden drop it, which
yeah.
come in clutch when you have like 14 cards in the hand. You just negate the whole board.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just send off
And
like 5 cards.
Like against poor David, I dropped this and discarded. I dropped the Ultimate Slayer, chained this, sent the Ultimate Slayer, sent the Black out last, and sent one of the Fiendsmiths.
Yeah.
And
chaining this to a lot of quick effect spells or traps or whatever is disgusting.
And it was so funny because you couldn't respond to anything.
Yeah.
And
your deck naturally plays monsters, spells, and traps.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the main deck. Pretty consistent board breaking. Getting into the extra deck, we play the 1 magical Musketeer Max. Max, criminally good card. So if you don't know what this one does, it's basically you link 1, requires any musket, and then you can special summon magical Musketeer monsters with different names from the deck equal to the number of spells and traps your opponent controls, or you can search for magical Musketeer spells and traps equal to the number of monsters they control.
Cool.
A lot of words, very easy to understand if you look at it. But this card, if you link into the brains list and they can't ask you when you're summoning 4 names,
that's nice.
Is very, very nice. And immediately after this, you can also go into the Fiendsmith Requiem because he's a life fiend.
Yes, yes.
This card, everyone knows what it does. Tribute, special summon a Fiendsmith from the deck. And equip it from the graveyard and make necro.
We know what it does.
Know what it does. Sequence for the fusion summoning.
Yeah.
This actually didn't come up as much. Usually we go into one of the other targets. I'll get into them now in a minute. But I've never actually, I don't think I've gone into disarray once with the deck. I just don't think it really comes up, to be honest, because I'm not really building a board.
Fair.
I'm more breaking it. You know, it doesn't really come up much. I could swap the disarray out for something else.
Yeah, but like a smart opponent will make you go second eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The Unchained Soul of Yama. Shout out Sean Kinzer for lending me this one. This card is nuts.
Yeah,
being able to search out for the Shavara and then just being able to go rest of your combo is very nice. And then being able to revive a fiend later on, the combo is very good. We play 1 Unchained Soul of Rage. This one,
great card.
we make in combo and then immediately link it off into the Unchained Soul of Anguish.
Nice.
This one, during your opponent's turn, is a quick effect link with their monsters.
Into a dark, is it?
Into a dark link monster, yeah. So we usually go into SP.
I remember when people figured out that you could link into SP with this.
Yeah. And then I usually got in combo, go into this one, using this and whatever I revive off the Yana to make this. And then I'll link their monsters off into another Darkling monster, making access code.
Yeah, okay.
Which is very funny. Then to go with it, we obviously have the SP and the access code.
Yeah.
The 2 cards we make off the 2 different names, pretty handy. This smoke and everyone is very funny.
Yeah.
And then SP is SP. If you're not playing it, you probably can't afford it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say probably the 2 best extra deck monsters we have right now with all the bans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 Necro Quick Princess. It's
Yeah.
part of the combo. 1 Air Leader. It's part of the combo. This is what we make off the sequence usually. Disarray. Honestly, this could be cut for pretty much anything that's generic.
Yep.
High King Caesar. You make the 6s very easily.
Disgusting.
End on the High King Caesar.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And then we have my Ultimate Slayer targets. It's a Golden Cloud Beast Maelong. So this one, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can take a face-up monster your opponent controls and shuffle it back into the deck.
That's really annoying.
And so no, return it to the hand, but usually I'm targeting another extra monster,
Yeah.
so it goes back to the extra.
Yeah.
And then usually dropping this on someone is quite funny because if they have the synchros out, it's usually just Chaos Angel. And the Chaos Angel is just useless now. It just goes back, and then you pick another card, it goes back as well. Play the 1 Elder Empty Intis.
Makes sense.
Just another pop. And then I didn't actually know if there was any good XZ's targets for it. But I've actually discovered since the tournament there actually is. So I decided to go on to Phantom Knight's price. So
Shadow Phantom Knight.
Just because I love Phantom Knights that much.
Yeah. No, there's a rank 9. It's like called like Meteorocry or something like that. It's a weird one, but no, there is some targets. Sean Kinsler has been helping me cook with that new target. But now at least we can use Phantom Knights in the title. It's pure PK, mate.
Pure PK.
Do you want to show your side, or we leave it?
No, the side's pretty. It's just pretty based on whatever your local scene is.
Fair.
Like for me, I was just expecting a few of the meta decks, so I just went this typical dog.
Yeah, Dog in Time,
Imperms, Thrusts, and
the barrier obviously good. Yeah. That's it. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Help us get to that 1K subscribers. Check out the links in the description for a discount for Kong's cards. You know, Crossover Breakers will be here. Royzel will unfortunately be here. And see ya.